And he got him. So it's a quick 3 up, 3 down, bottom of the 9th for Romano. And he and the Blue Jays take the opening game of this series in convincing fashion, beating the Yankees 9-2.
You know, we talked about making a statement in these big 4-game series when you go on the road, and the Blue Jays did that early on with that 5-run second inning, capped off by the big 3-run home run by Vladimir Guerrero. The pitching was outstanding, starting with Barrios, but the hitting even better. Everybody under control. Lots of really good at-bats. Blue Jays use the whole field and win in convincing manner.
A fun night for the Blue Jays here in the Bronx. 9-2 they beat the Yankees, hoping to get on a roll here on this big road trip. Time now for Sportsnet Central. Here are Danielle and Faisal.
Before we get into our Blue Jays post-game coverage, Nazem Kadri has signed with the Calgary Flames while Sean Monahan shipped to Montreal. Much more on a big day in Calgary coming up later in the show. Welcome to Sportsnet Central. Danielle Michaud, Faisal Khamisa kicking it with you after a big Blue Jays win. This is a huge series. We all know going into this, Yankees have been stumbling, so have the Jays, both coming off big wins, though.
Yeah.
And Toronto carrying it in today, everything working for them.
Absolutely. The pitcher, Jose Barrios on the mound, looking like the version of Jose Barrios Jays fans have been clamoring for, and George Springer. How about George Springer?
Have a day.
Have a day, and he did indeed. The Jays overall did as well. Much more coming up, but first let's break it down with Brad Fay and Joe Siddall, guys.
Hey, thank you very much. In Blue Jays Central, Joe talked about the inconsistency of Jose Barrios. We're not ready to dismiss that with one good outing, but you did see a significant adjustment from what we saw the last time he was on the hill.
Clearly, he's working on some, giving up 8 runs in that last start against Cleveland. And Brad, we saw it early on in this game against the Yankees. The delivery changed. Mechanically, he's doing a couple of things differently. Let's take a look at the split screen. On the left was his last start. Look at the glove. Down by his waist, comes up as he initiates delivery, and home. Tonight on the right, this against the Yankees, the glove starts higher. He's facing the target a little bit more. Initiate the delivery with that leg, but the glove stays high. Now that could be just to be a little bit more compact and help his release point get to that desired point more consistently, a little bit less movement maybe. And then another thing on the left, the last start, watch the ball come out of his glove very quickly in his hand. The ball's already out of his glove. On the right, it's a little different tonight. It's in the glove a little bit longer. Now that tells me maybe, did he think he was tipping perhaps? I don't know. I have no clue whether he's thinking about tipping. Definitely mechanical changes, but that one with the ball coming out of his glove sometimes is related to maybe I'm taking it out and tipping my pitches, but he was much better tonight. I thought the stuff was crisp. He was spinning the ball very well. Good life on the fastball. That was more of the Jose Barrios we've been seeing when he has his great games. It's just he's been very inconsistent. Did they work on something between starts? Maybe. Do you come up with something where if they think the other hitters are onto something, that's one thing. And I don't like to always bring up tipping when pitchers are doing well or not doing well. But that's a distinct difference when you take the ball out of your glove way early and maybe expose it to hitters or somebody else. And what we saw tonight where it's staying in the glove a little longer. But up here, remember the changes Ross Stripling made last year? It was mechanical. It was about the glove. Sometimes pitchers, if they can keep it inside into their chest a little bit more, it keeps it a little bit more compact. And when you're more compact, it'll allow you maybe to get that arm release point out there to the desired point more consistently. The more movement you have when you're pumping up and down, your body can drift forward and your arm can trail. And who knows? We're going to hear about this because that was distinctly different, either from Pete Walker or Jose after this game.
More from Joe on the offensive support that the starting pitcher got on this night after we hear from Arash Madani with Teoscar Hernandez.
Teoscar, so many of the guys pregame talked about this series being different. Coming off the win last night, late August, the wild card race is pushing. To send a statement with the big barrage of runs early and keep it going all night meant what?
I mean, we know this series is going to be fun. It's not going to be easy. We've been through a lot the last couple of weeks, but we never give up, and especially with the teams against like the Yankees and the guys that they have. We know we're going to be competing from the start to the end of the game, and that's what we're competing, and we get the win.
Does this just feel like a different series because it's the Yankees' division opponent and knowing that there's only 6-7 weeks left in the season?
Oh yeah, I mean we're not even thinking about the standing. We just think about how good they are and how tough they've been this year. So we have to be prepared from the beginning and be ready for everything that is going to happen during the game.
What stood out most about Barrios to you tonight?
I mean, he was excellent. He was attacking everybody. He kind of shake off a little bit in one inning, but we talked to him and tell him that he have to keep attacking guys and that we're going to be there and that we're going to try to make plays for him so he can go far in the game.
As a player, when you have teammates come and say those types of things to you, what can that mean to a guy?
I mean, I like that. I like when a teammate comes to me and tell me what he thinks to help me and to do good on the baseball field.
Teoscar, finally, it's been such an up-and-down season. So much has gone on, but the opportunity is still there in a wild card position. You've been part of a team that's knocked on the door. What's it going to take now to finish strong?
We're just thinking about winning right now. We're not going to think about the standing, the wild card, the playoff, and any of that. We're just going to go out there and have fun, do our things, and try to win the ball game.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
As always, the strains of Francis Albert Sinatra in the background as the Jays celebrate the first of 4 in New York. And, Joe, it was the big inning a night ago and another crooked number earlier in this game that got the Jays over the hump.
Yeah, George doubled to lead this game up, but they couldn't come up with anything in the first. But then that second inning was much better. And I was a little surprised at the approach by Frankie Montas against Blue Jays hitters. A lot of fastballs tonight. Matt Chapman jumps on this 96 to double into left field, just barely getting into second base after this relay. But Montas did not attack these Blue Jays hitters as we've been seeing this past week with sliders away. He was going more with his fastball, and he paid. Now, George, nice piece right here with a 1-2 count. Stays on that just enough. Had a fantastic night for Springer. He has to be in the lineup every night. What a difference maker he is. That's why he makes the big bucks. And then Vladdy, 96 miles per hour, trying to go away with the heater. Misses middle in, but that great approach, we call it the Yankee Stadium approach. It's just a good approach to hitting. He can hit the ball out to any part of the ballpark, and he finds the first row at Yankee Stadium. But I was surprised at the approach by the opposing pitcher, and more importantly, the Blue Jays took advantage. It may be different the rest of the series, but you do the damage when you can, and they got to Montas fast.
Let's get back to the Bronx and the thoughts of the men who called it, Dan Schulman and Pat Tabler.
Brad, the Blue Jays have played enough without George Springer the last couple of years to know what that feels like. They're really enjoying having Springer back in the lineup, and we saw a lot of that tonight.
You know, he means so much to this team, especially at the top of that lineup. It just gives them a whole different feel from the get-go. First batter of the ball game rips a ball down the left field line, then he's going to score a run with this single his second time up. Very under control. You didn't see him overswing at all. Use the whole field. Take what the pitchers give you. Ball down and in. Just take it the other way. All told, 5 hits for George Springer tonight. And I just love the spark that he gives. When the game starts and the Blue Jays are on the road, George Springer stands in there. He just gives them a different look. What a weapon at the top of that lineup.
A lot of production, a lot of energy, a lot of leadership from George Springer. The Blue Jays will take all of that down the stretch.
Going to go out on the lim and say that's the most efficient move from 1,000 to 1,005 in the history of the big leagues. Unbelievable from George Springer. And a reminder that tomorrow night's game is on Apple TV+. Plus, we're back Saturday for Game 3. And now back to Sportsnet Central.
Thank you, fellas. We will have much more Jays post-game reaction after their 9-2 victory over the Yankees to open the series. We'll have manager John Schneider as soon as he steps to that empty podium.
It's like a wall.